We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Those words were written by the Stoic philosopher Seneca nearly 2,000 years ago, yet they describe the modern struggle of overthinking perfectly. We replay conversations that already happened. We invent catastrophes that haven't occurred. We paralyze ourselves with what ifs. But overthinking isn't a personality trait. It's a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. Today, we're looking at 4 simple Stoic-inspired steps to silence the noise and reclaim your mental clarity. The foundation of all Stoic practice begins with the dichotomy of control. Overthinking is essentially the mind's attempt to exert power over things that are inherently uncontrollable. When we obsess over a what-if, we are wasting the most limited resource we have, our attention. Epictetus, who spent his early life in the chains of slavery, realized that true freedom is internal. He taught that our only true domain consists of our own opinions, intentions, and actions. Everything else, the economy, what your partner thinks of you, or the mistakes you made 5 years ago, is indifferent. But why do we struggle with this? Because overthinking mimics the feeling of being productive. Your brain tells you that if you think about a problem long enough, you'll eventually find a safe outcome. But there is a sharp divide between active planning and passive worrying. Planning is a tool, worrying is a trap. Here's what to do. Take a physical piece of paper and draw a circle. Inside the circle, write down the actions you can take in the next 5 minutes. Outside the circle, write down every outcome, every opinion, and every future event that is bothering you. Once it is on paper, look at the items outside the circle and say to yourself, "This is not my business." By defining these boundaries, you give your mind the permission it needs to stop processing data it cannot change. Marcus Aurelius, the leader of the Roman Empire, often spoke about stripping the things of the world naked. He would look at expensive Falernian wine and remind himself it was just decayed grape juice, or his purple imperial robes and see them as sheep's wool dyed with the blood of a shellfish. He did this to remove the emotional charge from things. Overthinking doesn't thrive on facts. It thrives on value judgments. We don't just observe a situation, we narrate it with terrifying, dramatic adjectives. Practice objective representation. When you are overthinking a social interaction or a work mistake, strip every single adjective away from the story you're telling yourself. The overthinking narrative says, "I made a catastrophic mistake in that presentation. Now my boss thinks I'm a total failure and my career is in serious jeopardy." But the Stoic fact says, "I spoke for 10 minutes. I missed one slide. My boss is currently answering emails." Here's why this works. When you remove words like catastrophic, total, or jeopardy, you starve the overthinking fire of its fuel. You aren't being a positive thinker. You are being a rational thinker. When you stick to the bare facts, you realize that reality is rarely as loud as the voice in your head. This is perhaps the most famous Stoic tool, the premeditation of evils. Overthinking is usually driven by a vague, shadowy fear of the future. We keep mulling it over because we're trying to avoid a disaster we haven't fully defined. The Stoics did the opposite. Instead of running from the worst-case scenario, they sat down and had a cup of coffee with it. They realized that what we fear in the dark is often quite manageable in the light. Here's what to do. Set aside 5 minutes to go all the way to the end of your worry. Ask yourself, if the worst-case scenario actually happens, what will I do? If you lose the job, you will update your resume and call a friend. If the person rejects you, you will go home, eat dinner, and continue your life. Most of what we overthink is not a death blow, it's merely an inconvenience. Once you have a plan for the worst-case scenario, the what-ifs lose their power. You have replaced a vague anxiety with a concrete strategy. As Seneca said, "He who has learned to die has unlearned how to be a slave." In this context, you are no longer a slave to your fears. Overthinking is a form of mental myopia. We get so zoomed in on our own lives that a minor embarrassment feels like the end of the world. The Stoics used a technique called the view from above to regain their perspective. Imagine your current problem. Now, imagine yourself from the ceiling of your room, then from the clouds above your city, then from the edge of the atmosphere, looking down at the tiny blue marble of Earth spinning in an infinite silent void. When you feel a thought starting to spiral, take a deep breath and perform this mental zoom out. Think of the billions of people who lived before you and the billions who will come after. Think of the vastness of time and space. Here's why this works. This isn't about making your problems feel meaningless. It's about making them feel proportional. Most of the things we overthink today will not be remembered by anyone, including us, in 5 years. By adopting the view from above, you detach yourself from the ego that is driving the overthinking, allowing you to return to the present moment with a sense of calm and humility. Your mind is your most valuable piece of real estate. Don't let what-ifs live there rent-free. Every minute spent in a mental spiral is a minute stolen from the only life you actually have. Overthinking is a slow leak in your energy. It is an attempt to solve the future with a mind that belongs in the present. As you go about your day, remember that while you can't control the chaos of the world, you own the fortress within. You own your judgment, your perspective, and your absolute right to choose your next thought. That is where your true power lies. The path to tranquility isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about finding the stillness at its center. If this perspective helped you find a bit of clarity today, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm find others who are tired of the noise. Subscribe to join us as we continue to apply these ancient tools to the modern world, building a life of focus and integrity. Comment below. What is one thought you are choosing to let go of today? Let's discuss it and grow as a community. Until next time, keep your head clear and your soul steady.